What's up, everybody? I'm Mr. Valentine. Nice to be with you here today. I hope this finds you well. Today, I am watching the 1950 film All About Eve for the first time. I've been taking a trek through cinematic history through the 1940s. I watched A Lady's Eve, Sullivan's Travels, The Little Shop Around the Corner, The Big Sleep, just to name a few. And I'm interested to see the next stage of cinematic development. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you watching this. If you want to support the channel, smash that like button, like the Hulk. Leave me some comments down below so I can have some assistance with the algorithm. And subscribe to the channel if you are not already a subscriber. I appreciate all my patrons. Thank you to all my patrons over there on the Patreon. Those who are getting early access, and a special shout out to my Prestige Worldwide members. Russian Paul, DeAndre Flyboy, Katie S, Robert M, John M, Thistlefig, Trevor, and Jake M. These Prestige Worldwide members are getting full unedited reactions, the whole shebang, the whole enchilada, all 9 of the yards. So if you're interested, go ahead and mosey on over there to the Patreon. But without further ado, let's delve into 1950s All About Eve, shall we?
To those of you who do not read or know anything of the world in which you live, it is perhaps necessary to introduce myself.
To those Philistines, let me pull your coat.
My name is Addison DeWitt. I am a critic and commentator. I am essential to the theater. This is Karen Richards. She is the wife of a playwright, therefore of the theater by marriage.
I like the introduction of these characters here. It's sophisticated and quirky.
Margot Channing is a star of the theater. She made her first stage appearance at the age of 4 in Midsummer Night's Dream.
She reminds me of Rosalind Russell. His Girl Friday, anybody?
Margot is a great star, a true star. She never was or will be anything less or anything else.
I have been proud and privileged to spend my life in the theater. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage.
It's a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury signifying nothing.
A deep and abiding love for us, for what we are and what we do.
I don't think Margot is none too pleased.
Honored members, ladies and gentlemen, for distinguished achievement in the theater, the Sarah Siddons Award to Miss Eve Harrington.
All right, that is high praise right there. She's the belle of the ball. I like the foundation this movie has laid so far. It's almost as succinct as the movie Jules et Jim, the opening sequence.
Time has been good to Eve. Life goes where she goes. She's been profiled, covered, reported what she eats and what she wears and whom she knows.
So Eve is mad eminence then, huh?
What can there be to know that you don't know?
When was it? How long?
Fill me in. Pick my brain.
Lloyd always said that in the theater a lifetime was a season and a season a lifetime. It's June now. That was early October.
Philosophical AF.
It was a drizzly night. I remember I asked the taxi to wait. I'd become so accustomed to seeing her there night after night. I found myself looking for a girl I'd never spoken to, wondering where she was.
This level of intrigue is drawing me in.
There you are. It seemed odd suddenly, your not being here. For weeks of watching even Margot Channing enter and leave the theater. I hope you don't mind my speaking to you. It took every bit of courage I could raise. Speak to just a playwright's wife? I'm the lowest form of celebrity. You're Margot Channing's best friend. You and your husband are always with her. And Mr. Sampson.
They go together like peas and carrots, like the inimitable Forrest Gump would say.
What do you do in between the time Margot goes in and comes out? Huddle in that doorway and wait? Oh no. I see the play. You see the play?
She a groupie?
You've seen every performance of this play? Yes. Don't you find it, apart from everything else, don't you find it expensive?
So she just be chilling outside. She is a zealous fan.
That's why I don't understand all these plays about love-starved Southern women. Love was one thing we were never starved for in the South.
View with a lady reporter from the South.
Replete with love.
Lloyd, honey, be a playwright with guts. Write me one about a nice, normal woman who just shoots her husband. You need no hurt. Bye.
Something casual, something light, something into which I can sink my teeth.
I can't see that Lloyd's plays have hurt you any. Oh, relax, kid. It's just me and my big mouth.
Nick Kroll, John Mulaney.
They're your fans, your audience. They're nobody's fans. They're juvenile delinquents. They're mental defectives. They're nobody's audience. They never see a play or a movie.
He claps. Shots fired. Is she describing TMZ?
I brought her back to see you. You what? She's just outside the door. The heave-ho. Oh, but you can't put her out. I promised. You've got to see her. She worships you. It's like something out of a book.
That book is out of print, Karen. Those days are gone.
The book is out of print.
For her whole life. You must have spotted her by now.
That's outdated, dude. That book went the way of the dodo.
Margot, this is Eve Harrington. How do you do, my dear? Oh, brother. And this is my dear friend and companion, Miss Bertie Coonan. Oh, brother. Miss Coonan.
Where art thou?
All of a sudden, she's playing Hamlet's mother. I'm sure you must have things to do in the bathroom, Bertie, dear. If I haven't, I'll find something till you get normal.
She's like, I wash my hands of this anomaly. Who are you? What have you done with Margot?
Yes, I've seen every performance.
Every performance. Well, then am I safe in assuming you like it?
I'd like anything Miss Channing played in. Would you really? How sweet.
Sounds a little bit from the character from Misery here.
Have you really seen every performance? Why? I'm curious.
Well,
Expound.
if I didn't come to see the play, I wouldn't have anywhere else to go. There are other plays. Not with you in them.
There's something unsettling about her commitment to Margot here.
Tell us about it, Eve. If I only knew how. Try. Well,
Why she have a look of disdain on her face? She's like, I'm above all of this.
it started with a play before this one. Did you see it here in New York? San Francisco. Eve, why don't you start at the beginning? Oh,
They're like, you leaving with a lot of gaps in this story here, madam.
it started back home. Wisconsin, that is. With just Mom and Dad and me. I was an only child. Used to make believe a lot when I was a kid. It got so I couldn't tell the real from the unreal. The unreal seemed more real to me. I'm talking a lot of gibberish, aren't I?
Not at all.
When you're a secretary in a brewery, it's pretty hard to make believe you're anything else. Everything is beer. Then the war came, and we got married. Eddie was in the Air Force. They sent him to the South Pacific. You were with the OWI, weren't you, Mr. Richards?
This actress is turning in a very fine performance.
They forwarded the telegram from Milwaukee. The one that came from Washington. To say that Eddie wasn't coming at all. That Eddie was dead.
Well, that's tragic. She just won the hearts of everybody in that room, it would appear.
Everything but the bloodhound snapping at her rear end.
There are some human experiences, Bertie, that do not take place in a vaudeville house.
And that even a fifth-rate vaudevillian should understand and respect.
Fifth rate.
I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. It's just my way of talking. And as for being fifth-rate, I closed the first half for 11 years and you know it.
She wasn't going to skate by that comment, that insult.
Bill, this is Eve Harrington.
Hi. My wonderful junkyard. The mystery and...
The cold shoulder.
Good night, Eve. I hope I see you again soon. As a friend. I'd like that.
Just a girl from Wisconsin with a dream to act.
I'll never forget this night as long as I live. And I'll never forget you for making it possible.
I mean, that's touching. She's engendered a lot of sympathy. Present company not excluded.
It's just that there's so much bourgeois in this ivory green room they call the theater.
Oh, the bourgeoisie, man.
But Hollywood, you mustn't stay out there.
It's only a one-picture deal.
So few come back.
It's interesting how he's delineating between the movies and the theater.
I understand it's the latest thing one hearing. If it isn't, it's going to be. I can't find the other one.
Throw that dreary letter away, it bores.
Where do you suppose it could be? It'll show up. Look in the wigs. Maybe you got caught in one.
Real diamonds in a wig. The world we live in.
First world problems, am I right?
I have a suggestion. Well, I could take care of everything here and meet you at the gate with a ticket. If you like.
I think we'd like very much. Sure you won't mind?
Of course not.
Uh-oh, she's insinuating herself into their lives.
So Dudley, I've developed a big protective feeling toward her. A lamb loose in our big stone jungle. Take care of yourself out there.
I understand they have the Indians pretty well in hand.
Don't get stuck on some glamour puss.
I'll try.
Glamour puss.
You know you're conceited and thoughtless and messy.
Well, everybody can't be Gregory Peck.
Am I going to lose you, Bill? Am I?
As of this moment, you're 6 years old.
Already?
Oh, this is some, soothing writing. She's like, hey, don't cheat on me while you're venturing west.
Hey, Junior, keep your eye on her. Don't let her get lonely. She's a loose lamb in a jungle.
Don't worry.
Here's looking at you, kid.
Eve became my sister, lawyer, mother, friend, psychiatrist, and cop.
She's wearing many a hat then. There's so much cinematic language being expressed here.
Watch you play that last scene 1,000 times. Cry every time. Performance number 1,000 of this one, if I play it that long, will take place in a well-padded booby hatch.
Well padded with a straitjacket. Her intentions are being laid bare.
We'd better let Mrs. Brown pick up the wardrobe.
She's holding that with so much ceremony.
We are ready with the call. You placed for 12 midnight, California time to Mr. William Sampson. I place.
Margot, what a wonderful surprise. What a thoughtful, ever-loving thing to do.
Bill! Have I gone crazy, Bill?
You're my girl, aren't you?
That I am.
Then you're crazy.
One and the same.
Oh, those previews. You're trapped. You're in a tin can.
In a tin can, cellophane, or wrapped in a Navajo blanket.
Here I am sitting in a tin can.
Bill, it's your birthday.
Who remembered it? Who was there on the dot at 12 midnight?
Happy birthday, darling.
Reading could have.
I feel like it was not Margot, in fact.
Birthday and coming home. Who'll I ask?
No secrets. I know all about the party. Eve wrote me.
She did.
You got that right, she did. She's not missing a beat.
You don't like Eve, do you? You want an argument or an answer? An answer.
Pick your poison.
No. She's loyal and efficient. Like an agent with only one client.
Ooh,
She thinks only of me.
she's being indicted.
Like she's studying you. Like it was a play or a book or a set of blueprints. How you walk, talk, eat, think. I'm sure that's very flattering, Bertie. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with it.
She's downloading a lot of data. Hey, they're calling her character into question.
I'm on my way. Is there anything more you thought of? Those checks or whatever it is for the income tax man. Right here. It seems I can't think of a thing you haven't thought of. That's my job. See you at tea time.
It would appear that Eve is playing chess here.
By chance did you place a call from me to Bill for midnight California time? Golly, I forgot to tell you. Yes, dear, you forgot all about it. Sure you'd want to, of course, being his birthday. You've been so busy these past few days. Last night I meant to tell you before you went out with the Richards. I guess I was asleep when you got home. Yes, I guess you were. It was very thoughtful of you, Eve.
Trying to ascertain her motives here. Outside of stardom, obviously. Birdie shooting her accusatory looks like I told you.
Even before the party started, I could smell disaster in the air. I knew it. I sensed it even as I finished dressing.
There was cataclysm in the air she was detecting.
Extra help get you?
There's some loose characters dressed as maids and butlers. Who'd you call, the William Morris Agency?
You're not being funny. I could get it.
The caterer had to go back for the hors d'oeuvres. Voila.
A very unseemly motley crew.
And there's a message from the bartender. Miss Channing know that she ordered domestic gin by mistake?
The only thing I ordered by mistake is the guest. They're domestic too, and they don't care what they drink as long as it burns.
This is sharp writing.
I ain't dense, and he's been here for 20 minutes.
Well, I certainly think it's odd he hasn't even come up to.
Oh, snap. Is that subtext of him talking to Eve or what? That's a nice character touch right there. She don't want to appear to be in a rush, but she definitely is. Time is of the essence.
Just let me kill the point. There isn't it a story for grown-ups?
You've heard it. About the time I looked through the wrong end of the camera find.
Remind me to tell you about the time I looked into the heart of an artichoke.
I'd like to hear it.
Some snowy night in front of the fire. In the meantime, while we're on the subject, would you check about the hors d'oeuvres, Eve? The caterer forgot and the varnish wasn't dry or something.
Yeah, putting her to work. Like, basically, hey, get out of here.
I had no idea you were even here.
I ran into Eve on my way upstairs, and she told me you were dressing.
Naturally.
We started talking. She wanted to know about Hollywood. You seemed so interested.
She's a girl of so many interests.
Pretty rare quality these days.
A girl of so many rare qualities. So you've pointed out so often. Her loyalty, efficiency, devotion, warmth, and affection, and so young.
The actress is doing a hell of a job of playing indignant.
This is my cue to take you in my arms and reassure you. But I'm not going to. I'm too mad.
Guilty.
Mad.
Ooh.
There's certain characteristics for which you are famous, on stage and off. I love you for some of them and in spite of others. I haven't let those become too important to me. They're part of your equipment for getting along in what is laughingly called our environment.
Is this a love triangle? They are embroiled in controversy.
Is there anything else I can do?
Thank you, Eve. I'd like a martini, very dry.
Yeah, are her intentions pure? Is Eve just in adoration of Margot? Or is she really trying to strategize here?
We've seen you like this before. Is it over or is it just beginning? Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Uh-oh.
Sing you off my guest list. What are you doing here?
Dear Margot, you were an unforgettable.
Is that one Marilyn Monroe?
You remember Miss Caswell?
I do not. How do you do?
Miss Caswell is an actress, a graduate of the Copacabana School of Dramatic Art.
Good evening, Mr. DeWitt.
This must be at long last our formal introduction. We only met in passing.
That's how you met me. In passing.
Eve, this is an old friend of Mr. DeWitt's mother.
She is about to be passing Margot in stature here.
Then you two must have a long talk.
I'm afraid Mr. DeWitt would find me boring. You won't bore him, honey. You won't even get a chance to talk.
Claudia, come here.
She's like, if you endure what I endure, you won't get a word in edgewise.
That's Max Fabian, the producer. Now go and do yourself some good.
Why do they always look like unhappy rabbits?
That's what they are. Go and make him happy.
Go and make him happy? In what manifestation, my friend?
But she'll be in safe hands.
Margot can feel herself being supplanted by Eve, but can do nothing to stop it. Eve is implacable. Oh, Margot is sloshed. She's imbibing from the cup of maudlin.
Play it again.
But that was the fourth straight time.
Then this will be fine.
Play it again, Sam.
Your guests were also wondering whether the music couldn't be a shade more on the, say, happier side.
If my...
Just a shade more upbeat.
For an audition, for this part we are replacing. What's her name? Your sister.
What?
Please.
All you need is one opportunity.
When's the audition?
A couple weeks.
Why don't I read with her?
Would you?
Anything to help you out, Max.
Now that's got right.
Would you deign to read with her?
And besides, you got a new guest, a movie star from Hollywood.
Shucks. And I sent my autograph book to the cleaners.
That's funny. Such an understatement
Not exactly.
of her animus.
How's the new one coming?
The play?
Cora. Still a girl of 20.
20 is just not important.
Don't you think it's about time it became important? Don't be evasive.
Margot, you haven't got any age.
Margot feels her star is waning.
3 months ago, I was 40 years old. 40. 4-0.
The cadence she's putting on 40.
I hadn't quite made up my mind to admit it. Now I suddenly feel as if I've taken all my clothes off.
Existential vulnerability.
Tell me, Eve, how are things going with you? Happy? There should be a new word for happiness.
Being here with Miss Channing has been I just can't say.
She's been so wonderful, done so much for me. Lloyd says Margot compensates for underplaying on stage by overplaying reality.
Oh man, now that's a statement. Overplaying reality.
Fabian tells Miss Channing that her understudy was going to have a baby, and they'd have to replace her, and you ought to be Margot's new understudy. I don't let myself think about it even.
Contrary to what she's already been doing.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Margot just doesn't miss performances. If she can walk, crawl, or roll, she plays. The show must go on. No, dear. Margot must go on.
A seed is being planted. What would cause Margot to miss a show?
Would you speak to Mr. Fabian about it? Of course. You won't forget. I won't forget.
This is a significant development.
I don't want to make trouble. All I want is a drink.
Leave it to me. I'll get you one.
Thank you, Mr. Fabian.
Well done. I can see your career rising in the east like the sun.
Her career is not the only thing that's rising.
I've listened backstage to people abroad. It's like waves of love coming over the footlights and wrapping you up. Imagine to know every night that different hundreds of people love you. They smile, their eyes shine, you please them. They want you. You belong.
This kind of mentality is like echoing the sentiments in the movie Sunset Boulevard.
A situation pregnant with possibilities, and all you can think of is everybody go to sleep.
Good thought.
It won't play.
I've heard worse ideas. We need to take a time out from this conversation. Tempers are running high.
Happy little housewife.
Cut it out.
This is my house, not a theater.
Kitty, put your claws away.
And stop being a star. And stop treating your guests as your supporting cast.
Now let's not get into a big hassle.
It's about time Margot realized that what's attractive on stage need not necessarily be attractive off.
Oh, she's overplaying reality. Here we go. The fractures, the seams are starting to show.
There must be some reason. Something I've done without knowing.
Reason is Margot, and don't try to figure it out. Einstein couldn't. I'm fond of Margot, too. But I know Margot. And every now and then there is nothing I want to do so much as kick her right square in the pants.
I see nothing malicious in Eve's behavior. I did at first, but now I'm thinking she's pure.
The audition is over.
Over it can't be. I came here to read with Miss Caswell. I promised Max.
Well, the audition was called for 2:30 and it's now nearly 4.
Really, I must start wearing a watch. I never have, you know.
Fashionably late, Margot is.
Who read with Miss Caswell? Well, it can't have been Max. Who?
Naturally enough, your understudy. Refer to your new and unpregnant understudy, Miss Eve Harrington.
Eve, my understudy.
Didn't you know?
Of course I knew.
The stage is set. The train has left the station.
And once in a great while, I experienced that moment of revelation, which all true believers wait and pray. You are one. Gene Eagle's another. Paolo Vesely, Hayes, there are others, 3 or 4. Eve Harrington will be among them.
Oh, buddy.
It was a performance. Brilliant, vivid, something made of music and fire.
Something unique, something unprecedented.
Tell me, was Bill swept away too? Or were you too full of revelation to notice?
You bet those sweet cheeks Bill was swept away.
That Lloyd felt as he did only because she read his lines exactly as he'd written them.
The implication being that I have not been reading them as written?
Best of my recollection, neither your name nor your performance entered the conversation.
Oh, you weren't thought of at all. Now that is below the belt, even if it's indirect.
Feeling better, my dear?
Like I just swam the English Channel. Now what?
Marilyn Monroe's a sight for sore eyes.
Your next move, it seems to me, should be towards television.
Tell me this, do they have auditions for television?
That's all television is, my dear, nothing but audition.
Way to dilute the importance of TV. It's constantly audition, trying out for something else. This is Sharp writing. Sharp as a tack. Shannon Sharp.
Terribly sorry I was late. Lunch was long. I couldn't find a cab. Where's Miss Caswell? Shall we start? Oh, hello, Eve.
It's all over.
She's bathing in disingenuity right now.
Eve read with Miss Caswell.
Eve. Oh, how enchanting. However did you two get the idea of letting Eve read with Miss Caswell?
Well, she's your understudy.
Eve, my understudy? I had no idea.
Well, I thought you knew she was put on over a week ago.
Seems inconceivable. I've never seen her backstage, but of course, with so many people loitering about, well. So Eve is not working for Max after all. Max, you sly puss.
You little rascal. You scoundrel. The audacity.
If you'd been here to begin with, I never would have dared to read it all.
Why not?
If you'd come in the middle, I would have stopped.
Oh, no. What a pity.
She looks up to you and she's eclipsing you right now.
I have no right to be anyone's understudy, much less yours.
I'm sure you underestimate yourself, Eve. You always do. You're about...
You'd have been proud of her.
I'm sure.
She was a revelation.
Oh, to...
Vicious.
You knew when you came in that the audition was over that Eve was your understudy, playing that childish little game of cat and mouse.
You got that right.
I'm lied to. Cat behind my back, accused of reading your silly dialogue as if it were the holy gospel.
She's playing the victim right now. Is there any merit to her victimhood? Is there a conspiracy afoot?
Fletcher?
May I say a word? No! What makes you think either Miller...
Pipe down.
I said I'm a dying man!
Not until the last drugstore has sold its last pill.
I shall never understand the weird process by which a body with a voice suddenly fancies itself as a mind. Just when exactly does an actress decide they're her words she's saying and her thoughts she's expressing?
Usually at the point when she has to rewrite and rethink them. Keep the audience from leaving the theater.
It's about time the piano realized it has not written a concerto.
Oh man, he called her a body with the voice. Mutual animosity. All of this has been building up over the years. Had to have been.
I'm nothing but a body with a voice, no mind.
What a body. What a voice.
That's ex-ship news.
Affirmation, am I right?
Such nonsense. What do you all take me for? Little Nell from the country? Been my understudy for over a week without my knowing it. Carefully hidden, no doubt.
Now, don't get carried.
There's something to it. But your antics at the party didn't help.
I am sick and tired of these paranoid outbursts. I didn't know Eve Harrington was your understudy until 2:30 this afternoon.
Tell that to Dr. Freud along with the rest of it.
For the last time, I'll tell it.
It's like those psychoanalyze.
Got to stop hurting yourself, me, and the two of us by these paranoid tantrums. I love you. I love you.
Ha!
You're a beautiful and an intelligent woman.
A body with a voice.
Oh man.
Beautiful and an intelligent woman and a great actress.
Oh, that's a good husband, man. Saying all the right things.
Margot, let's make peace.
Terms are too high. Unconditional surrender.
There's no negotiation here.
Isn't that enough?
I wish it were.
Then what would be enough? If we got married?
Oh.
Marry me just to prove.
I don't know why they were already... I thought they were already betrothed. Whoops.
There isn't a playwright in the world who could make me believe this would happen between two adult people.
Truth is stranger than fiction, indeed. But is she being neurotic, though? I like how the movie's being ambiguous about Eve's intentions here.
It would all seem perfectly legitimate. And there were only two people in the world who would know. Also, the boot would land where it would do the most good for all concerned.
What are you planning here?
And after all, it was no more than a perfectly harmless joke, which Margot herself would be the first to enjoy. And no reason why she shouldn't be told about it. In time.
She's doing a little puppeteering here, huh?
What time is it?
You asked a minute ago, it was 5:42. It is now 5:43. When you ask again a minute from now,
I
it will
just don't want Margot to miss her
A watch clock never moves.
dinner.
be 5:55. You'll be at the station in plenty of time.
That little place.
Oh, the hostility, dude.
But it can't be. We can't be out of gas. I filled it myself yesterday. Wasn't it full when you drove to Brewster this morning?
Well, I guess I didn't look. You know I don't pay attention to those things.
Is there a little machination taking place here?
None in sight. There's not much along this back road.
Not many cars either, not much chance of a lift.
What about an Uber? Anachronistic.
Walk up about a half a mile just in case.
So many people know me. I wish I did. I wish someone would tell me about me. You're Margot.
Oh, that's profound. It's hard to judge yourself.
Infants behave the way I do, you know. They carry on and misbehave. They get drunk if they knew how. When they can't have what they want. They feel unwanted or insecure or unloved.
A little temper tantrum. A little paroxysm.
Margot, I want you to know how sorry I am about this. I can't tell you how sorry I am. Don't give it a thought. One of Destiny's merry pranks. After all, you didn't personally drain the gasoline tank yourself.
Oh, the look of Gil. Look at her. Oh, I dare say she did, brothers and sisters.
And what a happy coincidence. Several representatives of other newspapers happen to be present.
A happy coincidence. It's details like this that makes one suspect Eve's strategy here.
With work and patience, she'll be a good actress.
Is that what you want me to be?
I'm talking about you and what you want.
So am I.
Getting mad sultry here, Eve.
I'm in love with Margot. Hadn't you heard?
Hear all kinds of things.
I'm only human, rumors to the contrary, and I'm as curious as the next man. What I go after, I want to go after. I don't want it to come after me.
Ooh, it's a nice little tango here. Rebuffed. It's like, good try. A for effort.
Just score it as an incomplete forward pass.
Flag on the play, baby. Oh my gosh, that is incisive writing. It's some of the best writing I've ever witnessed. Top 10 at least, dude.
We all come into this world with our little egos equipped with individual horns. And if we don't blow them, who else will?
Beep, beep, baby.
I say your idolatry of Margot started in San Francisco, didn't it?
That's right.
San Francisco, an oasis of civilization in the California desert. Do you share my high opinion of San Francisco?
Yes, I do.
I feel like he's putting the screws to her.
Tell me, what was your husband's name?
Eddie?
Eddie what?
Okay. Remain consistent.
I'm about to go to the shower. I won't be able to hear you.
Well, it can wait. Where would you like to go? We must make this a special night.
You take charge.
I believe I will.
You got that right. Is he a film critic who moonlights as a detective? Because it seems like he's sniffing something out. He senses a discrepancy in her story, I think. Or am I off base?
Margot lunching in public.
Oh, it's a new Margot, but she's just as late as the old one.
She may be later than you think.
What do you mean by that?
About the lamentable practice in our theater of permitting mature actresses to continue playing roles requiring a youth and vigor. Which
Oh,
they
man.
retain.
This is a hit piece. Shots fired.
What gets me? How all the papers in town happen to catch that particular performance.
Happen to. It's a dog-eat-dog world.
If Equity or my lawyer can't or won't do anything about it, they'll personally stuff that pathetic little lost lamb down Mr. DeWitt's ugly throat.
It's about to come to a head here, man. It would appear Eve had something up her sleeve this entire time.
I came as soon as I read that piece of filth. I ran all the way.
I think we're starting to evince Eve's character here.
Since I'm a playwright and not an oil well operator, well, I've been thinking,
I'm trying hard to follow you.
if instead of waiting until next season to do Footsteps on the Ceiling, which is in pretty good shape, and if Margot can be talked into going on tour with Aged in Wood, we could put Steps into production right away.
I'm beginning to catch up.
With whom at the helm, I wonder?
Maybe get some younger actress for the part.
He did mention the play, but just in passing. She never asked to play a part like Cora. She never had the nerve.
Just in passing.
Please, that's underlined. Meet me in the ladies' room, Eve.
I understand she's now the understudy in there.
What is...
Give me that empty bottle. I may find it.
She's an understudy in the bathroom. Oh, Mankiewicz can write, huh?
Now I must. I am busting to find out what's going on in that feverish little brain waiting in there.
My interest is piqued as well. What is Eve up to, ma'am?
You have a powerful friend in Addison. He's not my friend. You were my friend.
He can help you.
I wish I'd never met him. I'd like him to be dead. I want my friends back.
Eve, I don't think you meant to cause unhappiness, but you did. More to yourself, perhaps, as it turned out, than to anyone else.
I'll never get over it.
You theater people always do. Nothing is forever in the theater. Whatever it is, it's here, flares up, burns hot, and it's gone.
Such an interesting narrative approach here.
You want to play Cora. You want me to tell Lloyd I think you should play it.
You told him so he'd give me the part. He said he would.
My footsteps are about to be on the ceiling.
Don't you know that part was written for Margot?
It might have been 15 years ago. It's my part now.
You talk just as Addison said you did.
Cora is my part. You've got to tell Lloyd it's for me.
I don't think anything in the world would make me say that.
Addison wants me to play it.
Over my dead body.
That won't be necessary.
I thought she was about to say that could be arranged.
Addison knows how Margot happened to miss that performance. How I happened to know she'd miss it in time to call him and notify every paper in town. It's quite a story. Addison could make quite a thing of it. Imagine how snide and vicious he could get.
Oh my, a little blackmailing. Extortion is afoot.
You better sit down. You look a bit wobbly.
Wobbly indeed. Oh, Eve is shrewd.
I'm so happy I can do something for you at long last. Your friendship with Margot. Your deep, close friendship. What would happen to it, do you think, if she knew the cheap trick you played on her for my benefit? You and Lloyd.
Chicanery.
Even in the theater, before people forgot what happened and trusted you again.
Yo, this is a bombshell revelation. And the plot thickens.
You do all that just for a part in a play.
You got.
I'd do much more for a part that good.
She is unremitting in her maliciousness. And she has her up the creek without a paddle.
Well, what happened?
Nothing much. She apologized with tears.
You mean all this time she's done nothing but apologize? What did you say?
Not much.
Oh, she's screwed, dude. You don't want Eve to say much either, huh?
You know she probably means well after all.
She is a louse.
But try to outguess Margot.
Really?
Oh, man, dude.
Good I'm going to be.
This is a brilliant piece of writing.
No more make-believe, off stage or on. I don't want to play Cora. What? It isn't the part. It's a great part and a fine play, but not for me anymore.
The stars are aligning.
I finally got a life to live. I don't have to play parts I'm too old for. Just because I've got nothing to do with my nights.
That's a healthy perspective. I think that's the definition of irony. If you're sitting in Mrs. Richards' seat.
Everything's so funny.
Yeah, this is... They think she's gone off the reservation. They think she has a screw loose. But little do they know what she's withholding.
My name wouldn't mean anything. I room across the hall from Eve Harrington. She's been crying all night, and she's hysterical, and she doesn't want a doctor, and...
Is Eve having a prick of conscience?
The way Eve's been feeling, I've just been worried sick, what with her leaving tomorrow for New Haven and all.
Tell her not to worry. Tell her I'll be right over.
Is this another scheme, a little devising of a plan here? Or is she really going through it? Oh, man. Does it never end, Eve? What do you want now, dude? It's never enough.
Come in for a minute, will you? I've got something to tell you.
Why am I picking up on a nefarious tone here?
Lloyd Richards. He's going to leave Karen. We're going to be married.
Going to the chapel, Evie.
Lloyd loves me. I love him.
I know nothing of Lloyd and his loves. I leave those to Louisa May Alcott, but I do know you.
I'm in love with Lloyd.
Oh, Little Women.
You have no right to say such thing.
Artistically the most promising. Eve, dear, this is Addison.
Like, who are you talking to?
We decided night before last, before we came up here. The setting wasn't romantic, but Lloyd was. He woke me up at 3 o'clock in the morning, banging on my door.
Why is she always staring off into the distance?
Possible, even conceivable, that you confuse me with that gang of backward children you play tricks on? That you have the same contempt for me as you have for them?
Ooh, he's disgusted. He's repulsed.
I am Addison DeWitt. I'm nobody's fool, least of all yours.
I never intended you to be. Addison, will you please say what you have to say, plainly and distinctly, and then get out so I can take my nap?
Lloyd may leave Karen, but he will not leave Karen for you.
What do you mean by that?
More plainly and more distinctly, I've come here to tell you that you will not marry Lloyd, or anyone else for that matter, because I will not permit it.
Oh, snap.
What have you got to do with it?
Everything. Because after tonight, you will belong to me.
Belong?
Yo.
To you?
Possession.
I can't believe my ears.
A dull cliche.
How trite.
Now remember, as long as you live, never to laugh at me. At anything or anyone else, but never at me.
Feisty. Fella. Ferocious. Alliteration.
Then if you won't get out, I'll have you thrown out.
Don't pick up that phone. Don't even touch it.
Oh my goodness, dude.
To begin with, your name is not Eve Harrington.
Oh.
Gertrude Sloshinsky.
It's true your parents were poor, and they still are.
They would like to know how you are and where. They haven't heard from you for 3 years.
Oh man. She done reinvented herself. And he has her number.
But life in the brewery was apparently not as dull as you pictured it. In fact, it got less and less dull until your boss's wife had your boss followed by detectives.
She never proved anything, not a thing.
The $500 you got to get out of town brought you straight to New York, didn't it?
Blackmail goes both ways, Evie darling.
I had to get in to meet Margot. I had to say something, be somebody, make her like me.
Now I don't think she's acting for the first time in this movie.
You're an improbable person, Eve, and so am I. We have that in common. Also a contempt for humanity, an inability to love and be loved.
Oh.
Insatiable ambition and talent. We deserve each other.
Are they sociopaths? We deserve each other because we're misanthropes. We hate everybody.
And you realize and you agree how completely you belong to me.
Yes, Addison.
And take your nap. And good luck for tonight.
Go to sleep. My possession, I'll see you on the other side.
And she gave the performance of her life. And it was a night to remember, that night.
Full circle, baby.
To my first friend in the theater, whose kindness and graciousness I shall never forget. Karen, Mrs. Lloyd Richards.
That picture, that face is worth 1,000 words.
One who became my benefactress and champion. A great actress and a great woman, Margot Chan.
Look at her face. Colored with condescension and pure animus, dude.
Congratulations, Miss Harrington.
Oh, thank you so much. Nice speech, Eve. But I wouldn't worry too much about your heart. You can always put that award where your heart ought to be.
Oh.
I don't suppose there's a drink left.
Twisting the knife.
Here, take it to the party instead of me.
You're being very childish.
What else is new?
I'll drop you off. Go to the party alone. I have no intention of missing it.
This is a fascinating picture. I must declare. That's good cinematography right there.
Who are you?
Miss Harrington.
What are you doing here?
I guess I fell asleep. Please don't have me arrested. Please, I didn't steal anything. You can search me.
Did you get in here?
Indeed.
You were just looking around. That's all.
What for?
You probably won't believe me.
Probably not.
It's for my report.
What report to whom?
About how you live. What kind of clothes you wear. What kind of perfume.
Ah,
Things like that.
your entire existence, in other words.
That spilled drink's gonna ruin your carpet.
Maid'll fix it in the morning.
I'll just clean up the mess.
Don't bother.
She's fangirling out. This looks familiar.
Do you want want someday to have an award like that of your own?
More than anything else in the world.
You must ask Miss Harrington how to get one. Miss Harrington knows all about it.
You bet those sweet cheeks she does. I like the symmetry of this story, the cyclical nature of chasing stardom.
Just a taxi driver, Miss Harrington. You left your award in his cabin. He brought it back.
Woo! I like a good movie, man. I like a good movie. This is nutritional for me. And thus the seed was planted, and another character in her nascent beginnings. And I like the symbolism of this shot here, because there are many infinite versions of this kind of personality, this kind of person. Yeah, that was 1950s All About Eve. And oh brother, this is why I watch film, because as we peel back the layer of this onion, layer by layer, it reveals such a complexity of a storyline, and this movie tests and it challenges the audience's allegiance to the character, to the story, because on the surface of it, we are seeing things through Margot's eyes to a certain extent. And for like 3/4, I'm tempted to say 3/4 of this film, I was of the opinion that Eve was just, an innocent character who through happenstance was coming into some success. But all along, the movie was playing it close to the vest. It was playing its cards close to the chest here, man. And being very ambiguous about, is Margot really just being insecure about getting older and jealous of this young woman, this young whippersnapper coming to take her place? Or is Eve really working behind the scenes and being very deceitful and duplicitous all along? And the twist that the critic was on to young Eve's shenanigans and tomfoolery. And it was like a blackmail within a blackmail within an extortion. And I just love that brilliant narrative choice. This is phenomenal writing, phenomenal acting across the board. A very famous, a very successful, a talented actress in Margot is being fawned over, worshipped by one Eve, this mysterious, elusive character. And slowly but surely, the story remains ambiguous about whether or not she is being moved against, conspired against. And it's being implanted in the head of the audience. Like, I don't know if you all have seen Sunset Boulevard, but it is redolent of that. This kind of a fading actress, for lack of a better expression. This actress who is getting old and being replaced by a younger generation. So we, the audience, are wondering, or at least I was, I don't know if you had a different experience, wondering if, Margot is really being paranoid, because the movie will not be forthcoming about it whatsoever. And I love that about it. I love experiencing a film and not being sure of which way it's going, because I was teetering. I was teetering the entire time. I was like, oh, Eve is being unsettling. Oh, Eve is just a young girl with ambition. Oh, Eve is being very malicious. Oh, Eve is very innocuous and beneficent, And I like feeling the undulation, and I like feeling the pendulum of belief and expectations in the film. I love that. I adore it. It's physically impossible to appreciate this film more. And it's such spectacular writing from a screenwriting standpoint. When Eve it was kind of tipped off to us. That scene when, what was his name? Bill came into the dressing room after Eve's first performance, and she came on to him, and He rebuffed her. He rejected her and said, call it an illegal forward pass. Now, come on, man. That is creative. That is enchanting writing right there, dude. Call it an illegal forward pass. Flag on the play, brother. Good try, bro. Good try. And so that was the first inkling that Eve might be up to no good. All of this might be self-serving and, planned out ahead of time, as opposed to this young, doe-eyed, innocent young woman. And then as the movie wore on, you kind of feel for Margot's character, especially when she said, after Eve had revealed her intentions to blackmail Mrs. Richards. She revealed her intentions to, hey, I got dirt on you. I played you. And now I have you at my beck and call. You're at my disposal. And she goes back to the table, and then you see Margot stepping into her own acceptance of her stage in her life, of appreciation. Yes, she's getting older, but she still has a part to play. She still has some worth and value. She says, no more, what did she say? No more make-believe on or off the stage. And so that just engenders such a startling level of sympathy for that character. Whereas, the first half, I was unsure the first half of the movie. And that's the point of it. Was she tweaking? Was she tripping? Or was there merit to her suspicions of Eve? And after all, there was merit indeed. Indeed. And I'd be interested to watch this movie again because of the subtlety of the acting, the micro expressions. There was a lot of nonverbal communication on the faces of Margot, Eve, and Addison that subtly and subconsciously telegraphed to the audience their true intentions. But it's only in hindsight and in retrospect that you can detect this, and that is genius movie making. Genius, man. And I like the nonlinearity. Like we started at the beginning, the movie starts at the end, essentially, right? These are the characters. This is where they wound up. And let's travel back. Let's circle back to see how we built up to this point. Let's see the ingredients of this equation before we get to the result. And by the time we get to the end, everything is so marvelously unfolded, and that I was in awe of the conclusion of this narrative. And then the perfect bow on top, the icing on the cake, to have a young whippersnapper come in, being obsessive and waiting in her room asleep, basically fulfilling the same role Eve did. You're like, hey, I got ambition. I'm willing to do anything it takes to achieve stardom and fame. And the cycle continues. Oh, the everlasting, the perennial chase for stardom and fame and recognition in the industry. A beautiful film, dare I say. A beautiful film. But I will stop talking. Thank you for watching this with me. All About Eve is an amazing addition to the sphere of cinema. And if you have any recommendations, I am all ears and I will be indebted to you. I couldn't have more gratitude for you if you give me something close to this caliber of a film. I've been traveling through the 1940s. Now I'm in the 50s. So it doesn't have to, the recommendation doesn't necessarily have to be in the 50s, but I am, on a search. I'm on an expedition through the 1950s to see what kind of cinematic gems there are. But thank you for watching. Appreciate all the supporters here on YouTube and Patreon. I got 5,000 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you, all 5,000 of you. And those of you over there on the Patreon who are getting unedited and early access to all of my movie reactions. Thank you. This was a very enjoyable experience for me. And as always, till we meet again.